Hi everyone, this is Pam from Just Dreamin' Stamps, and today I'm going to share with you how to make this cute little Halloween card. As you can see, it's a slider card, and when you pull it up it says Happy Halloween, trick or treat, and then it shows underneath this little mummy. And so this is the card. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin with, what we're going to use is we're going to take just a regular 8.5 by 5.5 sheet of black, basic black cardstock, and score it at 4 1/4. And then we're going to cut out a piece of the designer Halloween Night Designer Series paper, and you want to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And you're going to just adhere it on to the card like this. Just center it on like that. To make these cut marks and the score lines, I thought that it would just be easier if I made a template for you to copy. And so this is the template. So what you want to do is you want to measure down 1 inch and over 3/4 of an inch, and then over 3/4 of an inch from the center fold, and score along that line. And then you want to cut, from the 1 inch mark, and you're in still 3/4 of an inch. So from that mark all the way down to the 4 3/4 mark, and then you want to do the same thing over on this side. So cut from go 1 inch down over 3/4 of an inch. So cut from 1 inch to 4 3/4, and then like I said a second ago, you want to score across at 1 inch, and then you want to score again at 3 inches, 3 inches from the top, score here, and then score 4 1/2 inches from the top. And then along the bottom you want to cut this, so it should be up 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and then you'll cut across this line here. So it's up 3/4 of an inch, in 3/4 of an inch, and in 3/4 of an inch, and you'll cut along that line there. So when you're done, it should look like this, and you can see that it'll slide up. So the next thing that we're going to do is we'll just embellish it with all of the little Halloween cutouts. Stampin' Up! Makes it really easy. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate to fussy cut. And so Stampin' Up! Does have these framelits, or these are edgelets, and these are called Halloween scenes. And so the tree and the witch, and this is a pumpkin, the tombstones, a fence, and a bat. So we're going to use a lot of those, and I've already cut those out. The witch, the tree, and the tombstones. And then for the moon and the ghosts and the little house, those have to be fussy cut. And like I just said, I hate fussy cutting. But there they are here. So I've gone ahead and fussy cut just the ghosts in the house. The moon I cut out using the 1 3/8 circle punch, and the little mummy I cut out using the new cookie cutter die that Stampin' Up! Just came out with, and so I cut him out. And then the little treat bag, it was another one that I had to fussy cut. And so let's put this thing together. So with the tree, let's kind of get an idea. Well, probably the first thing we should put on is the moon. And so I just used a little bit of fast fuse and stuck the moon on. You want to be careful where your fold marks are. So I stuck the moon on right about there. And then I just took a edge of a Stampin' Dimensional, stuck that on the back of the witch so that she's raised up a little bit, and stuck her on the moon. The next thing I did is I colored in the windows and stuff with the crushed curry ink. So let's color those in. Just gives it a little bit of a contrast. And now with this you've got to be careful because of your fold here, you want to make sure that it's not adhered above the fold, because if it is, then it's going to make it so that it won't pop up like this. So we'll just put Fast Fuse or whatever adhesive you're using along the bottom part. And I kind of centered that in. So like right about there. And see? So it works really well. And then for the tree, we don't need a lot of the, I'm going to cut off this edge here. And let's see. Because we can have the tree hanging over as long as we don't. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just cut along here. And we'll adhere it. Maybe we'll cut off a little bit more here. And we'll adhere it on like that, right on along that bottom part of that score line. So just about like that. Do that real quick. So stick it on right about there. Let some of the branches hang over. And then the tombstone, I put that on with some dimensionals. You can see my boo-boo there. So you can put that on with a dimensional on this crease right here. And then with the ghost, what I did with them is it's just some mini glue dots, and this is, yeah, actually it's a poker thing. I think it's a piercing tool is what it's called. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called, but it works great for taking the little glue dots off, and I kind of roll them up and then just stick them, kind of see he's going to go back in there, and so we can put them along that edge and put another glue dot, maybe these. Once again, I had to fussy cut them because, and we'll put a glue dot here. There's not a die for these, and we'll stick it like underneath the tombstones, so they're coming out of there. And maybe another. I just tore its little arm off because it's, like I said, I don't do well fussy cutting. We'll put a glue dot on the bottom of this guy, and stick it in there. We'll mend him. There we go. Okay, so there's our front of our card. And so all we have left is the little slider and the mummy inside. So to do the mummy inside, what we want to do is open our card up like this. You can see where my boo-boo was. We need to move it down, probably move it down to about there. So I think that'll work. So let's put some fast fuse, and we'll put it right about there. Okay, so it's coming together really, really good. The next step will be the little pull in the Happy Halloween Trick or Treat. For that, I used the Halloween treat as just a single stamp. I stamped it onto Whisper White and cardstock, and then what we're going to do is adhere it onto the black cardstock with the fast fuse. This piece of cardstock is 2 5/8 by 5 inches. So we'll adhere it on to this. That we will take our scissors and cut around. Once again, fussy cutting. Ugh. And get rid of that white along there. And then if you wanted, just to kind of hide some of this white here, you could take your basic black marker and mark along there. There we go. Get along here too. It won't go up that high, so you don't need to worry about it down here because that part won't show. And then if you want, you can just punch a hole in the top part here and run some ribbon through. But what we're going to do is we're going to run some fast fuse along the bottom, adhere that onto the bottom of this. Make sure it's going to work. And then we'll flip it over and we're going to run fast fuse along the edge here and along the bottom and along the side. But you want to leave the top open. And then shut your card. Like that. And there we go. Oh, there we go. So there's your card. It says Happy Halloween, Trick or Treat. And then, like I said, if you wanted to, you could put, like I did on this one where I stuck a piece of ribbon up here. The more you use it, the more flexible it gets. You might want to just, if you're giving it as to someone, you might want to move it a little bit. Another thing that I did is I used the Halloween Night enamel dots. All of this stuff is available in the Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. And if you use that little paper piercer again, you can put some dots on here. Just put them in various locations. Give it a little accent. Put some down here. And there we go. Card's done. Isn't that cute? Well, you can order all of the products that I used to make this card at my website at justdreamin.stampinup.net, or you can also visit my blog, which is justdreaminstamps.blogspot.com, and see other inspirational ideas. So thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.